knocking at certain times. This is Scott Reckler. He is the Vice Chairman of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Scott, first of all, thank you so much for your hospitality.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the significance of today.
Well, this really is a symbolic moment because this building really represents the resiliency of this country. You know, these people, the thousands of men and women that have worked here tirelessly, have done it really as a passionate tribute for the people that perished on 9/11 right on this site.
Yeah, I know a lot of the workers have the 9/11 sticker on their helmets, and they have been waiting for this moment for 12 years, but certainly the last 6.5 that they've been building this building. So Scott, can we do this?
Let's do it. I think we're ready. Let's bring it up.
If John Schaffner up in the cab is ready, if these guys down below are ready, let's have the crowning achievement. And now what'll happen is John will start to lift this 75-foot long section, 2 sections actually, of the spire. These 2 sections combined, Savannah, weigh about 40 tons. You can see, I think, as this section starts to lift, you can see the beacon, which is right here in the center. That's a very technically advanced beacon that when it's in place and operating can be seen for 50 miles in any direction, Savannah, on a clear day.
And I think I heard some applause for some of the workers. That people have just poured their hearts into this project. And as we watch this moment unfold, Matt, I got to tell you, it is impossible to not have a lump in your throat right now.
Well, you know, these people got up here. A lot of the folks on the platform below us, again, we are above the roof. We are on a platform that's part of the crane above the roof of One World Trade Center. These people just wanted to be here this morning, and I would imagine down on the ground there are a lot of other trades members, union members who've had some role in the construction of this building. They are probably gathered down there, and there will be a huge piece of applause when this thing is finally lowered into place. They tell me that this, because it is such a delicate operation, imagine what would happen. I have to tell you, weather was important here. If the wind was too high, they couldn't have done it, because you start to get a 40-ton section of spire swinging because of the wind. That is a very bad situation. They're going to lift it straight up. But when they do, they'll get it above the 1,701-foot section that's already in place. They'll lower it down to those iron workers, and then they'll bolt it in place. And that's when you'll hear the applause, Savannah and Natalie. That is when these people will let some of their emotions go.
Well, it is a moment loaded with emotion. And Matt, forgive me if you mentioned this already, but how long do we think this process will take?
It's about a 10 to 15 minute process. You know, they have to do this carefully. It'll take about 6 or 7, 8 minutes to get this above what's already there. Then they have to make sure it's lined up exactly right. By the way, as the bottom of these sections pass us right now, I can tell you that what they did initially is they lifted it up off the platform here, and they checked it very carefully to make sure there was no debris, nothing extra stuck to that mounting bracket area, so that there would be anything less than a perfect fit. And then they put those 60 bolts in and tighten them. They're heavy. I actually held one of them in my hands a short time ago, and they'll make sure that thing is absolutely secure, Savannah.
Well, we will wait and watch. You stay right there. I know you're not going anywhere. Matt, we'll check in with you in a moment. But Matt, who is down at the One World Trade Center site witnessing history, what do you see, Matt?
Yeah, it's going great here, Savannah. These 2 sections of the spire are now probably a couple of 100 feet above us. They're going straight up. There was a moment, I will tell you, about 5 seconds ago where it looked like it was starting to swing a little bit. Talk about the skill and precision that a guy like John Schaffner in that cab has to employ at this time. It's got to be so steady. You can't get that thing moving in any bad direction. You don't want it to even nick slightly the existing structure here. It's probably getting up to about 20, 30 feet from where those iron workers from Local 40 are right now. It will be raised above them. Then the crane will swing a little bit, putting it directly above them. They'll check it one last time, and then John Schaffner will slowly begin to lower it. You saw it has a square mounting bracket at the bottom with lots of holes for those bolts. They will literally slide that thing perfectly into place and then quickly begin to bolt it into place. And it will be the crowning achievement of this project, Savannah, that's taken so long, the planning. And there were so many disagreements here after 9/11. What should be done with this site? Should it remain a memorial? Should there be any buildings here? Who would finance it? What was the design? Should there be 2 towers or 1? Well, all that was put aside. The rebuilding began, and everybody came together, especially these people here who've made this possible, Savannah.
And it's going to mean so much to so many people, not least of whom those who are a part of this process of placing that spire there, this delicate work as you've described it. This is a job that is not for the faint of heart. Matt, how is it that they're the ones chosen to do this task?
Well, John Schaffner, luck of the draw. He's the operator of this crane, so it falls on him. There was another. The crane I think I'm on is the one that actually lifted these 2 sections from the ground. Imagine that trip, bringing it up 105 stories and then setting it here on the roof. But John Schaffner's the guy who operates that crane, so he gets the honor. By the way, I was told something I thought was really poignant earlier. A lot of the guys you see down here, the tradesmen and women who actually built this building, their fathers built the original trade center. And some of their grandfathers have been in this business for a long time. They may have actually built the Empire State Building, you know, blocks to our north here. This is in their DNA. It runs in their families.
And this is hallowed ground for this country, of course, needless to say. Matt, as you're watching, what are you seeing?
Here, Savannah. Yeah. Well, they've got that thing. They have swung it now directly over the existing structure. So again, 75 feet. 2 sections of the spire about to be lowered down directly. They're spinning it right now. I can see it. It will attach to the 1,701 feet already in place. And that's when this building becomes 1,776 feet tall. So symbolic, obviously, the year that the 13 colonies declared their independence, but so significant because so many people said you could never build a building like this in Lower Manhattan again. And you know what? These folks have proved everybody wrong.
No question about it.
I think we'll get some kind of a signal from those iron workers when they feel they've got this in place, and then you'll hear some clapping from my level and the level below us here. And as I said, if we had a camera down there, we've only got our camera up here, Billy Angelucci, but I would imagine if you could be down there, you're going to see a lot of tears in the eyes of those brave men and women.
And I think we'll hear some applause again as this moment in history unfolds right here live. And Matt, if people are just tuning in, just take us through it one more time. This is a spire, and you mentioned the symbolic 1,776 feet. What will this spire actually do? I mean, it's a broadcast antenna, as I understand it.
Well, you know, not only is it an architectural feature of this building, I got Kevin Murphy with me right now. It's one of the key figures in all of this, and it's also very important for broadcast operations. Kevin, take a look at the camera there. Yes. I mean, this is a broadcast antenna as well.
Yes, I mean, this is the great day for all of us here today. Great day. I mean, the guys couldn't be any more pride, couldn't be more excited about what's going on. All the years of planning are coming right now. These guys are doing a heck of a job. Couldn't ask for a better day.
Yeah, when those buildings went down back on September 11th in 2001, Savannah, remember, the antennas on the top are the antenna on the top that service so many broadcast outlets and facilities here in this area went down as well. So this is a chance to get back in business when it comes to broadcasting from Lower Manhattan. So it's not only architectural, it's extremely functional as well. Again, this doesn't go up and doesn't become operational this morning. There's still a lot of work to be done on this building. They still have to frame out the top section. They'll hand over the keys to some of the tenants in 2014. So there's a ways to go. But in terms of the height of the building, the superstructure of the building, this is the crowning achievement today, Savannah.
So many Americans, when they come to New York City, make this a stop that they have to make because, as we mentioned, this is hallowed ground. And just for those who aren't as aware of the geography of this area, Matt, where this new One World Trade Center sits, it is not the exact place where the original towers were. It's just slightly north of there, right?
It's just a little bit north. I mean, if anybody's had the opportunity, and if you haven't, I recommend it, to come down and see the memorial that was built here and opened a couple of years ago. That's basically, those are the footprints, those pools are the footprints of what was the World Trade Center. This is just to the north. It's called One World Trade Center. For a while they called it Freedom Tower. They changed it to One World Trade Center, but it's all part of the complex that was the World Trade Center. A museum is being constructed. That should open in the near future. And as I said, this will be I read somewhere this could end up being the tallest only office structure in the world. Again, the third tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. Second will be the Willis Tower in Chicago. Third will be the Trump International Hotel, also in Chicago. But New York gets to brag again. The tallest building in the Western Hemisphere is located right here in Lower Manhattan.
And Matt, this is Natalie here. A lot of people here in studio just riveted watching this, and we all have goosebumps, I have to tell you, just seeing this as it is happening. A very emotional experience for a lot of people who, of course, remember so clearly what happened on that day on September 11th, 2001. I mean, you remember covering it. How does this hit you, seeing this happen?
And not only covering, but I was born in New York, and so there's a certain sense of personal pride that goes along with this. I think it's going to be incredibly emotional. I'm listening. Kevin's got his walkie-talkie here, and I just heard over it. They're saying "coming down," coming down, meaning this thing is lowering into place, and apparently it's in right now. Some down there chanting USA. They're clapping. This is now in place. 1776. This building has risen to new heights. The rebirth and the rebuilding of Lower Manhattan, and such a wonderful moment, and we can't thank the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey enough for letting us witness it and be a part of it live.
How can you not have a lump in your throat, a tear in your eye,
Savannah's
and
crying.
a smile on your face after everything that has happened on that ground, to see this tower soar once again, and along with it our hearts, Matt. Really amazing, and so many people have poured their efforts into this, poured their planning into it. It's amazing to see this moment happen.
And let's just remember the people who lost their lives on that day, and the first responders, and all the other heroes.
We will do that for sure, remembering them, and remembering why this is such a meaningful moment for this country, why this is hallowed ground. This is a moment of pride and hope and renewal, and we will keep our eye on this beautiful picture in Lower Manhattan. Take a quick break, and we'll be back with much more of today right after this.